He reminds me a little bit of Yodkun Pon, who's similar size and similar age, and they just eat up this space. They like take up that last centimeter where you feel comfortable, and they just walk through it. It makes you really uncomfortable, which is brilliant. You should totally do that in fights. I got stuck. So here I'm staying in a little bit, which is creating a better dynamic between the two of us. I was kind of moving back for no reason before, and now that we're staying in each other's range, he's actually not backing up as much either. Kind of to prove a point, it's become like a pissing contest or something. But here, he would be using that tiny step back against the ropes to launch something, whereas when my back is against the ropes, I don't feel like I have space. He knows where that extra inch of space is because the ropes have a little bit of a bend. So again, my kick is starting to come wide, which is why I'm missing him. Trying to do his teep there. He's better at it. So there I had my hips forward trying to coax his teep, but then I wasn't ready for it. His timing is really, really good. He's such a badass when he does it. And you can see how easily he does it. Like, it requires very little energy. It's just placement and timing. So now that he's in the corner, he's like chastising me. He's like, I'm in the corner. Why are you not kicking me? He's like, I have nowhere to go. It's amazing that in sparring with him nonstop, he's teaching me so much. Like, it's in space and in movement that he's teaching me stuff. See, I'm not close enough to him to do that trip. He stays really close when he does his turns. So here, we're just practicing, and I'm a little bit nervous throwing elbows at him, but you can see the difference between the space he takes up and the space I don't take up. There, I finally clipped him a little bit. But elbows, you have to cover a lot of distance, or you have to throw them when you're really close. The way he does it is he manipulates the arms and throws you off balance with like a tiny parry, and then you kind of fall into his elbows. So he doesn't have to step forward so much, you kind of fall into them. So here you can see his spacing. He just uses like tiny, tiny steps to basically keep me chasing and not landing with full power. He has a really brilliant lock. He like creates a frame with his arms, and you can't really get out of it. He'll show it later. See that? How he like pulled my arm to the side for his elbow? He's like, teep me. I'm trying to step on him when he's very solidly planted. When he does his turns, it's when you're not solid. It's when you're coming off of a knee or in the middle of a knee or stepping forward or anything. His timing is just perfect. So when you catch that kick, he wants a slight pull or lift, and then you throw it. So you off balance them first and then throw it. And when I was throwing the kick after the catch, he wanted me to become more airborne. Because kicking off of a caught kick, you're not going to get a great deal of power, but you want to really dramatize the kick. So here he's showing the caught kick. He does this tiny little pull that just off balances you. You can see I'm like pulling backwards, like all strained. He basically moves with the kick. My pull is very tense. It's the same complaint he has about my kick and my punch is that everything's too tense. He kind of continues the trajectory, but with a little pull on it so that it off balances you slightly. See how relaxed he is when he does it in shadow? That's exactly how he does it when he actually grabs you. So I'm off balancing myself instead of off balancing him. There he's like, don't yank on it like this. It's tiny. The pull is very quick rather than like yanking this tug of war rope kind of thing. No. He's saying I'm stopping to pull. He's like, don't stop. You continue in the same trajectory of the kick. Nope.
It pulls and then punch. It's like you have rubber band.
See how his leg just does this kind of like pull back? He's like, you don't take a full step. It's just a little like drift back almost. No back. You just go to the side. It's very similar to when he catches the teeth and kind of pulls it slightly to the side of his body so that he can knock you over. You're just pulling it at your own hip. You're not like yanking it back or stepping back or anything. And here he's saying to dramatize the attack afterwards with like a jump or... Bah!
You see something? You see?
See, I'm doing that like tug-of-war yank on it. He just gently pulls it. So gentle. But it's enough to off-balance you, and you actually fall into his strike. And you can see in my body language how horrifying it is, even though he's going so gentle. So he switches his stance to get more power on that elbow and to just take a step in. So he's very balanced when he comes in. So here he's trying to get me to relax and I'm actually stiffening up in response to him. So I learned this from Berkler. He switches his stance when he catches a left kick. So you're ready to throw right away. You don't have to catch it and then do like a whole changeover with your feet. You just go southpaw as you catch it. And he takes a very small step. Well, big step, but it's to the side. He's saying it hurts if you don't move. Look at the spacing on his feet when he does that change. It's very symmetrical. It's beautiful. So there's his jump to dramatize that kick. So he puts a little bit of a rainbow arc on it. So he told me you don't have to hurry. Like, you have like 1 or 2 beats between stuff that you can pause before throwing your strike. So you don't need to like grab it and fall into the strike. It needs to be deliberate. No. Take a step. You can see how he's fast, like his timing is good, but he's doing things at a pace, like he's not rushing. He takes that step. He's like, don't do a little like gallop forward, just take the step. It's smooth. You can hide it. It can be a punch instead of the kick. So if I were better at off-balancing him the way he's good at off-balancing people, it would be harder for him to move just out of the way when I'm trying to throw my strike. So he was telling me not to grab with the arm too low, because then they can just fake it and kick your head. So when you grab, you kind of want your arm to come up, so you're like blocking your head and then